Today we're working on the standard generate measurement by measuring lengths using rulers marked with halves and fourths of an inch. So for our first question, A, how many quarters are in $1? So using my manipulative right here of quarters, these are my green quarters. They represent 25 cents as a quarter would. So we have 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, 4 quarters. So we have 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1. Another way to look at it is 1, 2, 3, 4. Also as 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. 4/4 is also equivalent to 1, like our $1. So we can write 4/4, or we can write $1. So each of these is 1/4 of a dollar. Moving on to question B, how many half dollars are in $1? So again, using our manipulatives, we have 2. So each half dollar is worth 50 cents. So 50 cents, $1, or 1, 2. Or we have 1/2 and 2/2. 2/2 is equivalent to the whole number 1. So another way is how many half dollars are in $1? The answer would be 2. So some vocabulary that we need to know is an inch, a unit of measurement that equals 1/12 of a foot. So using your standard ruler, you would have on the left-hand side the word inch at the first hash mark, and then over at the next large hash mark you have the number 1. This signifies it's 1 inch. And then if you look here, from 1 to 2, that's a 2nd inch. 2 to 3 is a 3rd inch. 3 to 4 is a 4th inch, and so on all the way to the number 12. So if you look here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 inches in 1 foot. And half is a unit of measurement describing when something is cut equally into 2 parts. So if we look back at the question we did with the half dollars, we had 50 cents and $1. So 1/2, 2 halves. Quarter is a unit of measurement describing when something is cut equally into 4 parts. So going back to our problem A, how many quarters are in $1? 1 quarter, 2 quarter, 3 quarters, 4 quarters, or 4 quarters. A whole number is an integer. For example, on our number line, we have the number 1, 2, and 3. Those are integers. Fractions is a numerical quantity that is not a whole number. So for example, when we use the fourths in our dollar, we have 1/4, that's a fraction, 2/4, a fraction as well, and 3/4, a fraction. Length is a measurement of something from one end to another. So if we look at this board, from this end to this end, this is the length. Also looking at this line here, from the very top all the way to the very bottom, that entire area of that line is the length. All right, let's go ahead and look at some problems. Miss Horton went to Subway and purchased a 12-inch sandwich. She gave half of it to her daughter. How much does she have left? Or how much does her daughter have? So if we look at our number line, it's already been partitioned into 12ths. Each of these signifies an inch, just like a ruler. So 1 to 2 is 1 inch, 2 to 3 is 2 inches, 3 to 4 is 4 inches, and all the way to 12. So the question says she has a 12-inch sub. So as you can see, we already have that drawn here. And she gives half of it to her daughter. So what is half of 12? 6. So let's go ahead and on our number line, let's draw a line here to signify that she gave this part to her daughter. So now our 1 whole became 2 wholes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is now 1 whole. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 2 wholes. So to answer the first question, how much does her daughter have? She has 6 inches, or 1/2 of the sub. So for part B, her daughter gave half of her remaining sub to the dog. How much does the dog eat out of the entire sandwich? So this part is for Miss Horton, so that's already gone. So we want to look at just this first hole here that has 6 inches. What is 6 inches? What is half of 6 inches? 3. So going to the 3 here, let's go ahead and draw our line. And this shows that the dog ate 3 inches of the sub. Her daughter ate 3 inches of the sub, and then Miss Horton ate 6 inches of the sub. But the question says, how much did the dog eat out of the entire sub? So if we look at this second hole that Miss Horton has, and we want to go ahead and make it equivalent to the first hole, we need to split it into half. So we go here to the 9, go ahead and split that into half. So now the dog has 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 hole, 4 holes. So this is also 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. So the dog ate 1/4 of the entire 12-foot sub. Okay, let's go on to our second problem. The second problem here says, if Perry eats 3/4 of a pizza, how much did Perry not eat? Draw and shade a model. So if we look at our model right here, the first step is we need to draw the pizza. And then in here it says Perry eats 3/4 of a pizza. So let's go ahead and partition our pizza into fourths. And you can just use approximate values, they do not have to be exact. So if Perry eats 3/4 of the pizza and we need to shade, we're going to shade 3/4. So shaded here we have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So if Perry eats 3/4 of the pizza, what is left? The answer is going to be this area right here, which is 1/4. So you can just put dots in to signify that here. So Perry ate 3/4, leaving 1/4 remaining. Alright, let's go ahead and go into our problems that we're going to be doing for today. So I have 7 different cut size rods, as you see up here. And what we're going to do is measure each of the rods, write it down on your fraction form, down on your paper, and then we're going to plot them. So I'll go ahead and do 2 with you. So let's start here. We'll start with the baby one. And using your ruler, you're going to go ahead and line it up on the left-hand side at the first hash mark that is 1 inch. Alright, so then we go ahead and look on here, and this one comes to 1/2. So this is going to be 1/2 of 1 inch. And we'll set this one aside. Let's go ahead and do the next one. And lining the next one up, that's 1 inch. This one goes all the way over to 1, signifying it's 1 inch. So 1 inch, but we want to write in fraction form. So to write the whole number in fraction form, we could put 4/4. After we have them on here, we're going to go ahead and go to our number line. So our number line is already partitioned into into 3 inches. Because we're going to go ahead, the smallest unit that you're going to be working with is 1/4, and it goes all the way up to 3 inches. So therefore, we need to go ahead and partition each of the inches into fourths. So let's go ahead and do so here. Was 1/2. So on our number line, we're going to go ahead and look for the half, which is going to be right here, because you could go in between, and we're going to put a circle. And then above that, we're going to go ahead and write the fraction. So we have this one, we have it on 1. So the circle's already there, we just need to write the fraction form, which would be 4/4. And because this is a whole, let's go ahead and circle it. Okay, so then next what we're going to do, this is your homework sheet that we're going to work on during class. And on here, you're going to go ahead and measure all 7 of the rods and then put the fractions in right here. So we've done the first 2 for you, so I'm going to fill it in. The first one is going to be 1/2 inches, and the second one is going to be 1 inch, which is also equivalent to 4/4. we're going to go ahead and fill this in right here. And then you're going to measure the remaining 5 and put them in just like I did. They do not need to be in any particular order. For the bottom part, we're going to go ahead and plot just like we did here on the number line. So you want to plot each of the 7 points, just like we did on the board. So a few things to remember with this is when you get done, your plot needs to have a title, 7 plot points, including the 2 that we've done for you, circling the holes. And then the third thing is measurement. So just make sure you have all of that.